Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-game show. Collingwood, 105 to 53. Brisbane Lions, 16-9 to 7-11. Imagine you add MC to playing at the G and how much worse that could have looked for a Brisbane side. Easter Thursday, another game for another club where it's their showcase game for the year. And it's another game where Collingwood spoiled the party. The Collingwood chants overwhelmed the Gabba, the makeshift G. It's important not to get carried away. We know how long the season is. We know when you need to be right, and we know that is at the pointy end of the year. But we've got to enjoy this, don't we? We have to enjoy these moments. When it's good, it's really good, and when it's tough, we'll rally together, and we'll still be here. But for now, we enjoy these ones. What did they say about comeback kings? Astro? It's us. It's us. How good. I know I've started a little bit earlier, guys, so I apologize if you do end up joining a bit later. I figured that when I'm not at the game, it doesn't take me so long to get back home. So let's get into some fan cams. Jump in. And we can talk about all our old players who are too slow and lazy. We can talk about how disappointing we were against a side that's 5-0 and has been in the last two grand finals. We'll start with the great man.
Anthony,
Cavino.
what a win, mate.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. How are you?
I'm alright, actually. Oh, I'm happy that we won, but I've been sick with the cold since Sunday, so yeah, my voice is a little bit different to what it was. But honestly, I'm so glad that we won the way that we did. I thought on the difference between us and obviously the doggies when Brisbane played them is that the Western Bulldogs haven't got the most experienced side out there, especially in their defence. They're pretty much a younger, inexperienced defence and inexperienced midfield. I thought our midfield handled Brisbane's midfield really well. I thought our forward line handled Brisbane's defence really well. Problem is they were getting a lot of uncontested marks, but hey, we did take something away from them, and we didn't allow Charlie Cameron to dominate and kick four against us like he normally does. But yeah, I'm really stoked with that win. I think it was good to see a four-quarter performance tonight, not gonna lie. But I, I think and I think this question, I think, is for everyone. Does this give you like the 2010, 2011, like the way that we play, or does that give you like the 2023 or like early 2000s, like 2002, 2003 when we used to smack sides
Kevin,
like that? Yeah, mate.
answer it yourself. You tell us.
I think this gives us mainly 2010, 2011 vibes. The way that we smack teams. I
Spot on,
personally
mate.
think that.
Spot on. Spot on.
Um, and also too, I had a question in my live stream tonight. You know, do you think it's better than the flag in 2023? And I say yes, it is, because this year in particular, we're belting teams. We're not letting them come back to under a kick, and therefore we're holding on to win. We're putting a foot on the throat, and we're taking the game away from them. and I thought every one of them played really well. Billy Frampton did a really good job. Darcy Moore, I hope he's okay. I don't know if it's concussion or not.
He's fine.
Quainer play.
He's done some damage to his cartilage in his ear, so he's cleared of concussion. So he will be available for the game against Essendon.
Good. No, because they did say that on Channel 7 about it, that he's been in the rooms and Ed Allen was going to come on, but they weren't too sure if it was concussion or not. So if he did miss out on the Essendon game, well, then you have Billy Frampton and also Jeremy Howe up there, but you're bringing Dan Houston, who will come back from suspension as well. So
That's
basically,
right.
even though you lose Darcy Moore, but you gain a win with Dan Houston as well. So yeah, very very good performance. And Nick Daicos, mate, 38 disposals killed him. No one was gonna stop him tonight.
It doesn't matter. You can put 3 players. You can glue him onto Nick Daicos. He'll find a way to shake him either way, huh?
Yeah. He's. I'm so glad we've got him. To be honest, like I'm so glad we got both the Daicos brothers, because if one doesn't get you, the other one will. So either way, it's a win-win.
We need that Darcy Moore speech for
We
Anzac Day,
do.
so it's good to see that he's available.
I believe in this group. I personally think we'll win it. But having said it, it is a bit early. It is too early yet. But I do think that we can definitely win the flag. I definitely do believe in this group. I know it's early,
All right,
mate,
Kevin.
but
You're right. No, mate, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. It's good confidence. Essendon
the only
on
the
Anzac
only thing
Day is
is
another.
test, yes. But we play well against them. The only ones
Yeah.
that's going to test us a little bit is Geelong 50-50 at the G and Fremantle in Perth. I think we may lose that one. That and maybe Geelong. One of them will lose, and then we'll win the other one. So, yeah. Either way, I'm not fussed, but I can see us losing to Fremantle because it's in Perth, and I think that Freo
That's right.
play really good. But if we do
That's
beat
right.
Freo in Perth, I'm happy. So, it doesn't matter.
All right, Kev. Appreciate you, mate. We got to keep it rolling, but yeah, we'll just keep ticking the wins off and keep gracing these comfortable wins.
Yep. Can't wait for Anzac Day, mate. Definitely will be there.
All right. Thanks, Kev. Take care, mate.
You too, Anthony. Bye, mate.
Stage of the year, so the way
Nick.
they're playing, I'd expect them to win at least 2, if not 3.
Oh, hello. That was quick.
4, so,
Hey, how you going?
How are
Yeah, not bad. Apologies everyone. Because last stream I accidentally said that Geordie was out for 2 weeks because I saw some picture saying that he might be out for 2 weeks, but it turns out he was only out for 1. So that is absolutely fantastic news.
What do you make of this comment from Giga Chad? Just so you know, we've now beaten 5 of last year's top 8 finalists, including the 2 grand finalists in Brisbane and Sydney.
Yeah, to top that off, we can see. I'm very happy to see that most of the that Collingwood is able to play a whole 4 quarters, because everybody's been talking about 2023. If you remember, everyone, that we always came back from behind because we wouldn't play a whole 4 quarters. So, and this year we actually played in 4 quarters, which is a big improvement in my point of view. So, and now hopefully, touch wood, we don't have to come out from behind and have heart attacks again.
Yeah, that's the most pleasing thing
about.
Yeah, touch wood. I think the most pleasing thing this year thus far is how we are winning professionally, and I think we're going to look back at this year as a masterstroke in the way we've structured our list and how we how we resisted giving into the media spin about how we're too old, too slow, too lazy. We're going to give them a massive pie in their face. And you know what? Even if we don't win the flag, like I don't want to put that out there, but even if we finish top 4 with the oldest side to ever be fielded in AFL history, it just goes to show there's many ways to skin a cat and there's many roads that lead to Rome.
That is true, and yeah, I agree. It would be absolutely fantastic to have that pie thrown in the media's face. And oh yeah, I forgot to say about this win. Yesterday just made my debut at a new club and had a win, and then follow that up with a absolutely good Collingwood game. Just what a week so far.
Unbelievable. What will top off your week? Is that all you can ask for in the week of Easter?
Yeah. If you think about it, you had a nice good you absolutely thrash Monash by I think maybe more than 6 goals, and then next you follow that up doing your recovery type of stuff, because I'm kind of getting around at still Sidebottom's age, so it takes a bit longer to recover. And then you sit back and watch Collingwood, and then next thing you know, they thrash another team. So when you have both your teams win, that's just great for a week. You know what I mean? Both teams win.
Can you, Nick? Maybe you might just steal Sidebottom, but you reckon you could donate some of your hair to him? I reckon he needs some help with that department.
Yeah. I have to admit, I really do miss Sidebottom's hair. I still haven't gotten used. I'm still trying to get used to him about his hair. Yeah, but how do you think everyone? Try and reply to this. How do you think still Sidebottom will look with hair like mine, huh? Because Anthony over here just mentioned that. How do you think it will look if I pass my hair on to him? How do you think it will look?
Mate, still, yeah, good question. You got me rattled. It looks good on you, mate. It looks good on you. So I'm going to say it'll look good on Steel Sidebottom, because any look you rock, it's a good look, mate.
Now you have to tie it up. He'll have to do a lot of ponytails and everything. So yeah. No,
what was your highlight from the game, Nick? What was your highlight from the game?
Sorry. I think my personal take on the past few games is that I've noticed that we don't go through the corridor anymore. We really rely on the rings now these days, and so I'm just trying to figure out what are we doing using the rings a lot instead of actually taking the ball up through the middle.
Yeah. Nick Daicos, Nick Allen. You'd think Nick Daicos was in a clearance. You would have thought. Where am I trying to go with this? You would have thought Nick Daicos was in a clearance rack the way they were tagging him, and they still couldn't stick a single tag on him all night.
Nope. If you look at last week, to me, my point of view, it seemed that that tagging wall was in reverse. If you look at the numbers last game, that was actually quite funny against Gordon. It looks like Nick Daicos was actually tagging Gordon. That was pretty funny to watch. But yeah, this game was really good. I would love to know how Daicos is doing it, because there's moments in my local footy, there's moments I get tagged sometimes because I'm a half backer myself. So there's moments I get tagged. But I would love
Settle
to
down, Josh Daicos.
love to know how on earth do you do that. I'd love to learn. Figure out how do you break tags.
Yeah. All good. All right, Nick, I've got to keep it rolling, but I appreciate you jumping on.
No worries. Have a good night and go Pies.
Go Pies. Boomer.
Oh my God. You got me on early.
Oh.
Well, we are the Pies of Brisbane town. We wear black and white, and who gives a fuck? Well, guys, I tipped us to be 19 points up. But here's the thing. They're our bitches. We really fucked them over. Got some really good little records that come out of this game too. The way I figured it, if our team 2 weeks ago was the oldest team ever fielded in the AFL, VFL, we've dropped Lockie Schultz since then, but picked up Mason Cox. So I've got a feeling this might have been the oldest team in history that played tonight. I don't know about that, but that's just my loose math. So too old and too slow, still pretty cool, isn't it? The amount of premiership players we had too. I think there was 18 of us and 17 of theirs too, so 35 combined premiership players. Again, the most of ever any team. And Brisbane had to beat a 100-year-old record tonight of coming back after half-time to beat us tonight. So, yeah, I didn't expect us to thrash the fuck out of them, though. This is really good shit to see.
Yeah.
Who do we have to worry about?
Yeah. Just whoever's in front of us on a week-to-week basis. Boomer, how big was Cox tonight?
Well, I think he was pretty big, but then we do have big cocks. I mean, Sydney got a big cocks as well. By the way, Bruce McAvaney used to say that a lot when Dean Cox was playing. He used to say, "You got to like big cocks, don't you?" Yeah, okay, Bruce. Here we all here. But we had Brad Dick and Goldsack back in those days, and Luke. Yeah, we had Luke Ball and Goldsack and Brad Dick, and we had a great team. Lee Brown. Oh, they're all there. Anyway,
still Sidebottom. We got all the names.
Well,
actually, Sidebottom I always disliked considerably because of a St Kilda ruckman, I think. But this one's made the go. I've got to tell you about a funny old thing because people were speaking. You were earlier speaking of BT. Back in the really feral days of Vic Park, when BT used to play well for us, when he took a goal, took a mark and was coming in to kick for goal, just as he kicked it, we'd all yell out, "How big is your dick?" And the goal umpire would signal a goal, and everybody would yell out, "Bullshit!" Meaning from the two fingers. And that one was one of our little famous Vic Park things. And then BT became a fucking smart ass, and we all hated him after that. So, yeah, that was one of those things.
I'd love you to Boomer, I would love you to have your camera on at this point and just show us the visual so people can get the. I'm sure people will understand what you're saying, but it would be fun. It's all good.
Oh, the signalling of the goal, yeah. I didn't have it on more like bandwidth, and where I am is a big problem. That's why I don't do the camera. But I do the bullshit meter, isn't it? Is that right? Is it the bullshit meter? Or can you actually see
What's
me?
That?
Can you see me on here? Or is it the bullshit meter?
I can't. You know what? Actually, I thought something was missing. I don't know where your Magpie DP's gone. You're just a nobody now.
Oh, it's supposed to be a bullshit meter. Okay. That's because my old computer's pegged it. But yeah, anyway, back to the game. Look, the way it goes, everyone's all saying stuff like, "We've got to be careful now." Ned Long, if he starts having bad games, we're going to start really crucifying him. So I think we kind of need to lighten up because we're doing the great whack-a-mole Collingwood now. Like tonight, Bobby Hill, we hardly saw him. The commentators mentioned Bobby Hill's being quiet, and he set up that beautiful goal from the wing, you know what I mean? So even though we're not seeing players, they're jumping up and down a lot. So this is the opposition is shitting themselves. They don't know how to beat us. Fags didn't know what to do tonight. Neither did Brisbane. I love the way we fucked them over. And I think most teams have got troubles with this. Sydney didn't know what to do last week. This week with Essendon, Scotty hasn't got the kettle on the paddock to beat us. So I think Anzac Day is going to be a good one for us. Geelong are our bugbear side, really. They're the only ones we've got to worry about. Freo, I don't know what Kevin was saying, Freo, but which Freo turns up? That's the other one though is who had the wood on us last year in that little run of games we lost? Hawthorn.
I can tell you, Geelong, Essendon, Gold Coast, Hawthorn.
That's right, Gold Coast. They seem to be no one's prepared for them, so they're an interesting one, aren't they? But yeah, how did you go at the game tonight? When did you think we'd won it? Third quarter or not?
You know what? Where did we win the game? I truly didn't feel like we were in control at all in the first half, but somehow we managed to stay in the game and, more importantly, convert when needed. And then the second half, I think we really just nullified their. They controlled the outside of the game for the most part, like uncontested possession wise, and that probably is seen in the tackle count. I think it's one of the lowest tackle counts in the history of the AFL. Let me just double check that. Give me 1 second. I've got it here. So bear with me. I'm right. I promise you I'm right here. 61 tackles in the game between Collingwood and Brisbane is the lowest tackle count in a game since Richmond and St Kilda 2024. Okay, so it's low, but it's not the lowest in history. But the point is they controlled the outside, but they did nothing with it. So that's that's I think we can beat teams in so many different ways now. Like you said, Boomer. You didn't see Bobby a great deal, but when he popped up, he was impressive. He was impactful. Daicos probably had a below average first half, but kicked the goals when you need to kick the goals. We're just damaging everywhere.
Yeah, McStay, he still has his brain drains. He always has a brain fart or two per game, but now he's kicking those first two crucial goals. That suddenly our goal line's ahead of our point line. What were we tonight? Significantly higher in the goals. What was our eventual score? 5 or 6 different, wasn't there, in the points to goals? What was our total score line?
I was like 16-9, so we're kicking straight as well. 16-9.
7 goals more. Straight. There you go. I mean, that's a phenomenal against. It's not like they're the defending premiers or anything. Oh, wait on. Yeah, okay. So what happened to them? But they were kicking it across. All they did was get it to the other wing. Well, okay, you can have it there. You're going to put, what's his name? Hipwood having shots from the wing. That's okay. He's not going to kick any from there. They had no goal kickers. Charlie Cameron, Take Me Home Country Roads. God, I hate that song because of him, and we didn't get to hear it. I'm loving Charlie Cameron not getting goals. Also, you guys, I didn't hear what you were saying at the start with Darcy. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say not Bobby Hill, excuse me. Charlie Cameron is the biggest downhill skier in the AFL.
Yeah. Yep, his what do you call it? His goal kicking is flatline like Dow Jones in the US since Trump got in. So yeah, he's a big downhill skier. I like that term. But I did notice you and Kevin were talking about Darcy Moore when I was just getting in here. Now he actually he split the cartilage in his ear. No concussion. He's cleared from that, and he should be up for Anzac Day. They were saying on the TV after the game. He was actually out being interviewed.
You beauty.
Yes.
You beauty. I'd love to see that.
Yes. Yeah, well, I don't think Manny will be too happy, but that's okay. So Darcy Moore definitely going to be in for Anzac Day. He said the blood coming out of his ear was actually from behind his ear, but it was awkward. They had to stitch it up, hard to get. So they subbed him straight away because the game was all but over. So, yeah, we're looking pretty good there. And our back line now are sending it forward into our forwards who've got to play. Now, I've heard people talking about the triple threat. And when we last played, 3 talls. Well, you'd sort of almost say tonight with Mason Cox coming in. But if you want to go through our history, there was a game back in 2009 where Medhurst, Anthony Rocker, and a young Travis Cloak were all playing in the same game. And that was an Anzac Day game against Essendon. So we have had 3 pretty tall guys at one stage playing in the team. It's just that 3. What was Tim Membry? What was he being managed for?
Pause.
Yeah.
Did you just say Paul Medhurst is tall?
Well, he is one of our. He did play as a tall forward for us, I would say.
Mate, he's 178. Boomer. He's 178. Boomer.
I just remember he used to. Well, in the game he looked good. I didn't have a tape measure out there.
If he's tall, I wonder how short you are, Boomer. I'm sorry, mate. I love you, but I just had to.
No, well, I don't know. All I do is remember. I never sat there and measured Medhurst. I never went out and said, "Oh, gee, he's a short ass guy." Mind you, he's Boomer Harvey's not too tall. But I never measured him. Yeah. I just knew he used to take good grabs up in the pack. So maybe Billy Elliott. Yeah, you don't say he's a tall player, but he plays tall. Yeah. But three aerialists, I guess you call it. Yes, but it was more a case of Anthony Rocker, Travis Cloak. I never thought they played together, but they actually did. And Paul Medhurst. So that was a pretty, what do you call it, an aerial strength forward line. We've always been those, what do you call them, Leon Davis type run-on players, Bobby Hill types. But so anyway, that's all that good. What else was in the game tonight that's nothing bad to report. We're playing very well. We're totally unpredictable, and I'm liking where we are. You'd sort of have to say everything's pretty good for us at this point in history, would you?
I've got a question for you, Boomer, and then we'll keep it rolling.
Yep. Good idea.
So, I didn't. Like I said, I turn a blind eye to the media, very much so, even more this year than last year. And it's. I think I feel better. I feel like I'm in a better place when I'm just turn a blind eye to all the garbage journalism out there. But there was a narrative or a conversation going around how some experts considered the Ashcroft brothers to be a better duo than Josh and Nick. What have you say about that?
Oh, well, I can give you some stats tonight. Nick Daicos alone actually got more stats than the two Ashcroft brothers. They actually were doing the Ashcrofts versus the Daicos boys tonight, and it was something like 41 or 43 to 20 something. So yeah, no, we hose them. The two Ashcroft boys, their dad actually was scurried off to Sydney, I think. He learned at Brisbane, but when they had to make room for Favola, they had to get rid of him. And so he ended up playing down in Sydney for a couple of years, if I remember rightly. But yeah, Peter Daicos is better than him, and our Daicoses are better than the Ashcrofts. So yeah, as far as that goes, we got the best Daicoses. We got the best players in the league. So yeah, been a pleasure. I didn't expect to come on this early, actually, mate. So thank you, and go Pies. We've got a good year coming. Remember, sit back and enjoy it goal by goal. And I'll write you another poem for next week, maybe. No, not tonight, but I'll have one for Anzac. No, but I'll have one for Anzac Day. How does that sound?
All right.
All right. Cheers, guys. No worries. Cheers, guys. Go Pies.
Benny from NZ. Brother,
hello.
I've seen you. You couldn't hold yourself in the backstage. You were pissing yourself.
It was when you said like relatively new to like Collingwood, like within 10 years. So like I've heard of some of these players, but I don't know exactly like necessarily who they are. But you said like, hang on, he's like a short guy. I was like, I couldn't hold myself. So he was like, he's a short guy. No, he's like, no, but he plays tall. I love our
he's right. Medhurst does actually. He used to play quite tall, and actually does remind me of a Jamie Elliott. So he's right in that sense, but it's just technicalities. How are you?
Yeah, I know. I'm good. Long week at work, but got tomorrow off, which is good. That was the first half, especially. That was feisty. Like they were going at Nick hard. Like, was it first half? Well, like early in the second, I don't know. It was so crazy. Like, the crowd. I don't even want to look at social media because all they'll say, umpires give them all free kicks to give us Collingwood free kicks. And it's like, we had free kicks, they had free kicks. I don't know. It's insane. But
what was the differential?
Really good win. I don't even know what it was.
24. 22 to 24.
Yeah,
not a big difference.
Yeah. But I was just thinking it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass. I mean, I thought Sydney last week was great, but this year's even better. Like, from fan cams last year to now, it's sort of like it's a whole 180 or like 360. Like complaining, we're not good. Now we're like, it's nothing to worry about. Well, at the moment, there's nothing to worry about, but the only concerning thing, and it's not a bad concerning thing, maybe it's too soon, but I think Ed Allen needs maybe more VFL time. I'm not sure if he's ready for the big step up, but that's just my feeling. But it's a tough one. If you're looking at a negative, and I don't want to look at a negative, but that would be the only thing I'd say. Like, still needs more time. So, yeah, improve.
Yeah, He's right on the cusp. There's probably a few things he needs to work on in the VFL. That's just where he's at the moment. We probably saw a couple stray kicks when he came on, but it's tough to come on with 10 minutes left in the game where it's completely iced.
Yeah.
But then you look at what their sub did. Marshall comes on in his first game and looked very much a part of it. So that's the standard. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But you said last year the fan cams was just, mate, it was consuming, wasn't it? Like, and it sucked the life out of you. So that's why I say, like, while we're here, guys, while we're winning, let's just enjoy this. Let's not get carried away, but let's enjoy it.
Yeah, it's pleasing to see. I think one of the concerns that you had, or it was either you or Caleb had, was like, could Fly or could Collingwood adapt during the game? And I think, bar the first game of the season, I think Collingwood have adapted well to, teams putting the pressure on them, and they've adapted to what the opposition they've thrown at them, which I thought was really good. Yeah, that's a pretty pleasing part to me. And
I think you can see it as well, can't you, Ben? You can see that our coaching strategy has improved, and they've learnt from last year. I think who's Rick in the comment section says right now, as we're speaking about it, our coaching staff is so much better tactically this year. We're seeing that with the decisions with recruitment, decisions with team selection, decisions with the way our game plan is going into games, and if need be, what needs to be done in game to adapt. And we're ticking all those boxes. I thought the Jordan De Goey selection was a bit. I reckon that was a line ball call. I think that definitely was a line ball call in the coach's box. But thankfully, he gets through unscathed. He kicks his couple of goals. Hopefully, this game gives him the conditioning he needs, and he comes through unscathed. Not today. Hopefully, he gets through tomorrow and the next day, because that's when the niggles start to arise.
Exactly. And like you say, it wasn't the best performance, but he'd been out for, was it a week or 2 weeks? So, and he's had issues.
That's the problem.
Yeah. He needs a consistent run, which is fair.
Yes.
But
yes.
Trying to think of what to say. Like, it's actually pleasing not worrying about a last minute win for one. It's like we don't have to have the defibrillator ready. Like, it was crazy to think, like, it's 3/4 time, we're up by so much. It's like, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. It's great.
Well, Benny,
it's great.
So you say you're struggling to find the words to express what we're seeing, and I think saying less is more sometimes, and it's good to see the smile on your face, because last year, most post-game shows, you probably came into it with a face looking like a slapped ass, the way we had to endure some of those performances. So it's good to see you smile, mate.
Yeah, thank you. And another pleasing note, the way the boys got around Jamie Elliott when he kicked his the first goal. Oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. Like, a huge moment for him for what he's been through in his career. I've had a bad hot take in the past where he wasn't playing, and I said we should trade him. I said we should trade him just to get picks because he wasn't playing at the time. But I'm glad they didn't trade him or anything like that. And he's a premiership player, 200 game player. He's I'll say Collingwood Hall of Famer. I don't know about legend, but I say Collingwood Hall of Famer for me.
Who's this, Nick Daicos?
Jamie Elliott.
Legend or Hall of Famer, whatever you want to call it. Give him both. Give him both titles.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, Benny, I got to
Yeah,
keep it rolling,
anyway.
brother.
Yeah, I'm not, yeah,
What time is
it's
it?
just
2
got 1
a.m.
o'clock.
in New Zealand?
Just 1 o'clock. So I'm feeling tired, but good to chat. Hope everyone enjoys Easter and roll on Anzac Day. It'll be a huge game. Huge game.
Benny,
So yeah,
enjoy your sleep. Enjoy the day,
Thank
the
you.
long weekend. Have a good sleep in, and we'll see
Yeah,
you
thank you.
on next Friday.
Yeah. At a more appropriate time. Yeah. Anyway. Cheers, bro.
Guys, I think we've got a very special guest, one of the OGs of the post-game show. His camera is not on, but when you hear the voice, you will know who it is. Hello, Manny Daicos.
Hello there, my camera shit itself. Oh, my camera shit itself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, did you stare into it or something for too long?
Nah, there, my daughter's busted. She smashed it. My daughter, yeah, she's sleeping now. That's what I'm staying. That's what I'm staying. That's what I'm staying like key. Hey, listen. Hey, buddy, listen there. You know what? The hunger's back, my friend. You can see it from a mile away. Remember we were talking about last year? The hunger's back, mate. The boys are ferocious, mate. You know what we're doing? Hey, we're pumping teams now. We beat Sydney away. We beat Brisbane away. We set ourselves up, right? It's that juicy, right? We're that potent now. We've got that many avenues to go. Our defense is impeccable, right? They can't get through us. Did you see how they were rattled? Could you see them? They were dazzled. They didn't know what to do. They were looking inside, looking long, looking inside. Then they had to bomb long, right? We have got this. Hey, it's all set up beautifully. I'm telling you. All the boys are playing good. Lipinski's a bit down. Quayno's a bit down, but the rest of them, they're performing wildly. What do you reckon, mate? Get the lamb on the spit marinated. Get the bottle of ouzo out, because Easter's gonna be perfect this year. Beautiful Easter, mate. Yeah, go,
mate.
go there. Hit it today. Get up and about today.
Cigare, mate. Like you said, what'd you say? What's the difference between last year and this year? You say it again.
The hunger, bro. You can see it. Hey, the hunger. Look, they're willing to defend there. They got the grid. They got the grid back. Can you see the grid? Right. If you're too loose defensively, right, and our defenders are playing too high up the ground, we get cut to ribbons. But they're all primed now. You can see it. They must. I don't know. You were at training. You saw it. Were they working on a defensive grid at training?
You know what? Actually, thank you for bringing that up, Manny. It's a great thing. I'm still curious as to how they have mastered defending the corridor because, Manny, everybody knows, like, if you can guard the corridor, one, you probably want to guard the corridor against every team because everyone looks to access the middle to open up the game. But to actually execute, I wonder where they're getting that from. Did they find that from a different sport, like the way they're setting up? Because there's no way through the middle. I don't understand. Was I seeing it at training? Not really.
You know what I reckon it is? You know what I reckon it is? You listen, yeah, I reckon because our players are mature and experienced, right? They know where to position themselves. So what they do is, because they all know they play their role, they know exactly where to position themselves, right? That's why you don't get rid of your old players, mate, right? There's no need to why would you get rid of your old players for? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. If you get rid of 4 or 5 old players, the whole system breaks down. We got players that are professional, mate. And don't forget, our players have been playing footy with each other for a long time. We've got new players, but the main position, the midfield and that, right? They're experienced. They've played a lot of footy together, right? And now also, I've noticed that our attack works off our defensive grid. As soon as we get that grid going, what happens is the oppo, they got to kick long down the line, right? As soon as they kick long down the line and we spool the ball and it hits the ground, that's when our offense takes off. If you notice, as soon as that ball hits the ground, all the players from the corridor, they come to the wing. I don't know if you've watched it, right? I watch it carefully. All the players, they rush to the wing where the ball's dropped, right? And the handball goes inside to the corridor, and we burst through the middle.
Manny.
Anyway, there's a lot of technicalities going on, but I'm telling you, don't worry. The main thing for me is, bro, is the hunger's back. I can see it.
Ella, hey, between
Ella,
me and you, yeah.
Ella, say something there. Tell me what are you thinking there? Tell me there. You know.
Ella. Collingwood tragic to Collingwood tragic, Greek to Greek, fucking everything else in between. Did you ever, at any point last year, be honest, you know, this is an honest forum, okay? Did you ever think we were too old?
No way. No way. Because
are you doing your cross right now? Are you doing your cross right now without the camera? Are you doing that as well?
Listen, you know why I know we weren't too old? You know how I know? Is because remember when we spoke, right? And you gave me devil's advocate, and you said to me, "What happens to young players?" And I said to you, "They get tired." But you know what? You know what the difference was? When we had injuries, right? We had 15 injuries last year, right? We spoke about it on fan cams. We had 15 injuries last year, and all our young players came in, right? And we won every game for 3 months straight. I think we won about 11, 12 games in a row, right? And our older players held up. That's when I knew that our older players had heaps of juice left. We've got Sidebottom there running around like a 20-year-old. We've got Pendlebury there. We've got Royces everywhere. We've got guns everywhere, bro. Jordy DeGoey. You give him the ball. He didn't touch. Hey, he didn't touch the ball tonight. He scored 2 goals within 2 seconds. Hey, we've got players everywhere. We've got Longy. How about Longy there? Longy's an absolute bulldozer. He's a monster in there.
Long Butso.
We've got guns everywhere. Hey, and you know what? We got Houston coming back in next week for more gun off the back, right? And we got Houston coming in, and then we got Schultzy. We got Schultzy coming in the week after. What else do you want there? We're laughing.
What do you think about people bringing up? There was a comment a couple of weeks ago, and I think you had your word in the comment section, but I want you to remind me.
Yeah.
I think someone said, "Is it time to consider trading Jordan DeGoey at the end of the year?"
Listen, I understand the question, bro. I understand what people are saying that because he hasn't been able to get on the park. But this is what people. I'm a 40-year member there. This is what people don't understand about the Collingwood Football Club, right? Is the Collingwood Football Club? We've got this thing about looking after our players, right? And getting rid of a player like Geordie, right? Getting rid of a player like Geordie can damage the culture of the club. Plus he stayed loyal to the club. He stayed loyal. He had big money offer from St Kilda. He went to the St Kilda Football Club, and you know what he did? He walked in there and he walked back out and he said, "No way, I can't play. I've got to stay loyal to the club," right? And you know what? I don't give a shit. He banged 2 goals against Carlton. He banged 2 goals against Brisbane. Oh, no, who was it? Yeah, Carlton and Brisbane, right? If he's banging 2 goals, right, in the 15, 20 minutes of the game, that's fine by me, right? Don't worry, he'll get better. And don't worry there. He won us the premiership. If it wasn't for Geordie in 2023, with that game, right, in the prelim against GWS and the grand final, we're not premiers, mate. You can't, even Bruzzy, if we lose Bruzzy, right, the club's got to give him more money. If we lose Bruzzy, he's part of the fabric, bro. He's part of the fabric. If someone like Darcy Moore goes down, right, and we lose another key defender, we got problems, mate. Pay and listen. By looking at Bruzzy tonight, I've been watching him closely. By me looking at him tonight, right, the way he was acting, right, he ain't going nowhere. I could see it on his face. When you're leaving the club, you don't play like that and you don't show emotion like that. You can see it. He's not going nowhere. I could see it from a mile away. That's the only reason I don't like getting. Don't swing a ball.
Sorry. By the way, Manny. By the way, great points. By the way, you're obviously spot on. So I have no qualms with that. I just wanted you to relay what you said because I know you were very passionate. You've been very passionate about Geordie to go in.
Yeah.
You mentioned Collingwood look after their players, and Geordie obviously
Yes.
stay loyal to us. Are there any other players that spring to mind in recent history or in years gone by where Collingwood have stuck fat through players who maybe have gone through past transgressions?
Where? Put it this way. Peter Mullane had an alcohol problem. Peter Mullane had an alcohol problem. That's Darren Mullane, he had an alcohol problem, right? And that's how he killed him. That's how he had the accident. He was drunk driving. I don't know if you remember. He hit the back of a truck, right? The club knew he had an alcohol problem, and they stuck with him. And he was a big reason we won the 1990 premiership, right? There's a lot of players. What about Swanee? What about the Rat Pack, right? If we broke up the Rat Pack, we wouldn't have won the premiership in 2010, mate. That's why you got to look after your players, mate. Like that's why we've got this special. There's a special thing about Collingwood, bro. It's like the culture. It's like you look after your people. You know what I mean? Like us Collingwood supporters, how we're all close and we look after each other. Like if someone attacked you at the game, I'll jump them instantly. You know what I mean? It's that Collingwood. Like we got this. The supporters in the club, we're bonded. You know what I mean? You look at Carlton and their supporters, right? And they're disconnected. No, I mean, just imagine us going to the Carlton Football Club and the doors are locked, and we're members. We're in the club, and we can't get inside our own club. At least you can go to Collingwood, right? And they'll let you sit there all day and take video, and you can walk wherever you want, do whatever you want. See? You're lucky you're a Collingwood supporter, mate. You're lucky you're a Collingwood supporter, bro. Hey, we barrack for the best club, mate. Don't worry.
Mate,
we got deep.
It's so good having you on. You need to be on more.
Yeah, no, it's the passion, bro. I love this club. You know, let me tell you a quick story why I love this club. You know what happened?
Yep. Tell me.
When I was, you know who made me love. You know who made me fall in love with the Collingwood Football Club there. When I was 5 years old, right, I used to sit at my grandma's house, right, and she used to cook lamb in the roast with potatoes, right, and I used to watch the Saturday afternoon games with Peter Daicos playing, right. As soon as the football match used to finish playing Peter Daicos, I used to grab my footy, right, and I used to go outside, and I used to act like Peter Daicos kicking snaps, and you know what I used to do? I used to damage all my grandma's rose bushes, right? And she used to sit there losing the plot of me. And ever since then, because of Peter Daicos, right, I fell in love with this club, mate. And you know what? I'm going to die a Collingwood supporter, mate. I love this club. Let's fucking go. Yasu, happy Easter. I love your work.
Opa.
We're up and about. Let's give it to Essendon and let's fucking go.
Opa. Fucking let's go.
Yasu. Hey, let's give it to Essendon, mate. We've got a break now. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Love you, bro.
Fucking dog.
Now you can say Christos Anestis. Now you can say it. Christos Anestis, buddy.
Yeah. Fucking God has truly risen, mate. Yeah.
Oh, he's risen big time, yeah.
Michali.
What's happening?
Mate, show us the cigara. Where is it?
It's here.
Opa. There it is.
Oh, it's all
Someone's
smiles, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Before the game started, I was terrified of their midfield, yeah? I've been playing Supercoach this year, and their whole midfield, they're all just racking up the points, yeah? Lockie Neal, Dunkley, McCluggage, the Ashcroft brothers. They're just dominating. And I thought to myself, how are we going to beat these guys, yeah? And just this game, we just did it so comprehensively. And as Manny was saying, mate, just blocking that corridor, and teams don't know what to do. Like, they get the kick out, they reach up to the wing, and then they kick to a contest. And once that ball hits the ground, we're off, mate. I can't, like, how many goals did we get, like, through that? It's really great to see that we've done this beautiful tweak to our game plan, because we used to go to the corridor all the time. It was so risky. We'd cop goals, like, because our defenders were going too forward, and every team would like run into open goals against us. But this little game plan that's forming right now, it's unbelievable, man. Yeah, the first half was a bit frustrating. A lot of our inside 50s were erratic. There was a lot of just no lowering of the eyes, but we settled and controlled the game. And I cannot remember such a comprehensive win against a very tough opponent in the last 2-3 years away from home. Without Houston, who would have, he's just going to slot in perfectly into this great side that we've that's materialised. We really can't complain as supporters. We really can't complain, and it's 5-1. It's set us up beautifully. Hopefully, we end up in a situation we did in the Premiership year where we've just locked in the top two, and we can do some slight experiments before the finals kick in. And knowing Fly, he will. That's what he wants to do. He wants to just get there, wrap up the top two, and we've just set ourselves up perfectly. Sorry for rambling on. I haven't stopped. Go on, mate.
No, Mick, this is your space. Like this is where you guys come on. I talk enough during the week, mate. I get sick of hearing my own voice. It's refreshing to hear fans' perspectives. That is not my own voice. So you speak for as long as you want, okay?
Okay, all right. If you can recall, the third quarter, late in the third quarter, we banged on 3 goals with Nick Daicos sitting on the bench, cheering like a supporter in the crowd, and that was just beautiful. It was just beautiful to see. We don't need our best player, who's just destroyed him, by the way. Like, he had a great game, man. Oh, with Daicos, yeah. It was the third quarter, and Brisbane put Berry on him to tag him. Luke Hodge and fucking whoever else was commentating. Oh, Berry's on him now. He's going to get physical, mate. They were still talking up Berry while Daicos had 3 instances where he's set up goals and just run off him, and they took the last quarter. Fagan just got frustrated and just took how many different things did he try on him? Started with Dunkley, then Berry. What can you do, mate? They just let him go, mate. And Nick was taking the piss at the end, mate. Pumping the fist, just it was just beautiful to see. There was another thing that happened. You'll piss yourself laughing, and I gotta go back and see this. A Carlton supporter on Twitter, before the game starts, he decided to start a thread, where he goes, I'm going to do a thread following Nick Daicos for the whole of the game and just watch this dud, have a shit game. And he's tweeting away, and Daicos is just dominating it by the start of the second half. He just gave up. Yeah, it's just all right. I could see he's a gun. Fuck. Oh, it was beautiful, man. It's like that. There's a Carlton supporter on Twitter that keeps saying, "Oh, Mark Murphy was better than Pendlebury." Like, what are you talking about, dickhead? Fucking hell, these Carlton supporters, man, they kill me. What else can I say, man?
They're somewhere where we are and where they want to be, unfortunately.
I saw something very interesting in one of Fly's presses a couple of weeks back or last week. He said something about the players coaching themselves, and I found it so interesting, especially with Pendles on the field. Like, Pendles doesn't have to have the best game in the world, but just him being there, directing traffic, it's unbelievable, man. We don't see it, and it's obvious that just his presence, he probably gets the that whole defending of the corridor thing, I reckon he's very important with that. He probably tells players where to go, and it's just creating such an obstacle for the opposition. And I thought it was very interesting what Fly said in that press, even to the extent where the training sessions, Fly said something like, I let the players devise their own training sessions. Now, which other team does that? We've got a very unique system that seems to be working. And yeah, that was so interesting to hear that from Fly. And another thing, what did you think just before the game when they announced that Cox was playing? Were you happy about that?
So I'm not sure if it was a tactical late swing. Did we get any clarification around that?
I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, I reckon it was a master stroke. Cox didn't have the best game in the world. But having said that, all right, he could have kicked 2 goals and wrapped up the game early in the third. McInerney had to work extra hard because suddenly Brisbane's going into the game thinking, okay, McInerney versus Cameron, you know. All of a sudden, Cox is playing. He's going to have nightmares from the grand final. And yeah, Cox doesn't need to, just like Pendles, Cox doesn't need to have a fantastic game. Just being there, up forward, he's a big obstacle for him. And then when Darcy gets a chop out in the ruck, at least we know the other ruckman's, mate, we're still getting first use of the ball when Darcy Cameron is resting. So I know what's his name, Andreas from Black and White United. He always keeps going on about Cox and Cameron together. It's an unbeatable combination, and I agree with him, man. And I reckon Cox should stay in the team. If Membry can't get back because of that, I don't mind. The forward line still functions well. We've got enough guns there. We've got enough players with good forward craft that each entry into our 50 can be damaging, you know. McStay, Myercheck, Jamie, Bobby, Daicos, as Manny was saying, Daicos had a shit game, kicked 2 goals. What more can you ask? He's not even fully match fit, you know. Wait till he's raring to go, you know, chopping out in the midfield and then going forward in that perfect Dustin Martin role that we've always wanted him to excel at. That's all I can really say, man. Ned Long, another good shift, yeah, did well. Yeah, just very happy, very, very happy, and just looking forward to. It's going to be a beautiful Easter on Sunday. Going to my brother's house. He's a one-eyed Richmond fan, but Richmond fans are very content these days. I don't care if they're getting pumped there. They've seen their premierships, but at least I can go to my brother's house and with my head held high and brag about the pies. Yeah, beautiful.
Over a nice gyros.
That's
lamb gyros.
Oh, can't wait, man. It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful, man.
Unbelievable. Love that.
Very, very happy, man. If you could say that before the start of the season, 5-1, you'd take that any day, mate.
All round smiles, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man, it's just beautiful, man. Just, yeah. Can't wait for Anzac Day now. And in the month of May, I'm going to those games. I've got those tickets locked in, so I'll be going. And when I go there, for your sake, I've said to myself, I'm gonna go to one of these games, and I'm just gonna watch Lipinski just to see. You know, you're more technical than me. You know, you say Lipinski does all this running. I'm just gonna watch him. Yeah, I'm gonna see his running patterns and how, you know, his gut running and all this sort of stuff. You know. No,
We'll
but
earmark
he's
that.
been
Are you going to the Anzac Day?
I'm not going to Anzac Day. I'm going to against Geelong, against Adelaide, and against Hawthorn. Then I'm going to Thailand, and then I'm gone for a few days, and it's worked out perfectly. I booked this Thailand holiday without checking the fixture, but it's worked out that the day after the Hawthorn game, I go to Thailand, and the day that I come back, we've got a game, our next game after that. So just coincidence, it just worked out perfectly. So yeah,
Beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. Maybe I'll bump into you at one of the games, and we can have a drink or something.
Yeah, man.
At one of the bars.
Fucking oath, man. Fucking oath, man.
Done.
We'll do it. All right,
Leg
Ed.
in there.
And happy Easter, man. Have a good one. All right.
You too. All right. Talk soon.
Catch you later, bro.
See ya. Tetris, you're on the roads.
Brother, how we doing?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Are you driving back from the game, or what's the hype with you?
Yeah, I'm just driving home.
Nice. What did you make of it all?
What a game.
Ooh, Tetris, there's a solid delay. Can you hear me?
Hold on, I'll just pull over.
All right, I'll give you a moment.
Bro, I thought that we played there was nothing that went wrong.
Yeah.
I can hear you good. How am I?
Good. The last 3-4 weeks have been almost faultless. Tetris, I got to let you go, bro. Tetris, I'm so sorry. The delay's too long. Maybe if we're still on, get home, and then jump back on. I'm so sorry. The delay is just too long. Mick. Hey.
Yeah. You got me on, yeah?
Not
you
you.
there?
Remember these ones last week? Yeah, you're here. There we go.
Hang on. Can I just I just want to know where's the comeback kings, guys? Okay, jokes aside, look, comeback kings didn't come up in this game, and let's be honest, because the team played really well. Defense, look, coming into this game, we were hyped as top 4 at least, best defensive team in the competition. Top 4 at least, I think it was. And there was something that was throwing me off in this game. Of all the players, Steel Sidebottom, I think, deserves a special mention. Aside from Jamie Elliott, who's, scored 2 goals after having 3 behinds. I thought surely he's going to get a 4th goal, and then, eventually he got a 5th one. And he did it. He delivered it for us, and he excelled despite the 3 behinds. But those were tough goals to make as well. So, kudos to him for trying and never giving up, as well as the team. The team was, I think, one of the best performing so far we've had in this season so far. And can I just say, Steel Sidebottom, and he's been hyped up as well a bit by some of the analyst experts, as well as those who are, claim themselves as footy experts. I don't know if Kane really does hype him up, but anyways, and they've mentioned he's had a career high stats. I don't remember exactly the stats that he's had, but he's been dominating, especially in the center game that he's been playing in, and with Scott Pendlebury as well. These 2 guys have been amazing. And then there's, on top of that, the Daicos brothers, who absolutely dominated the Ashcroft brothers. Like, the Ashcroft brothers, look, credit due to them. The Brisbane's some of their finest brothers, as well as duo, but that's about it. They were reduced to basically role plays. They there was nothing to see much from them compared to Daicos.
Yeah.
Daicos was having a field day, man, especially Nick. He was just running around. No one really tagged him.
Well, I think Nick Daicos had more disposals than Levi and Will put together. And earlier I said Nick
both.
had more tags than a designer bag on him, and they still couldn't keep a lid on him. So it is what it is. And still Sidebottom averaging over 25 touches a game in his 2025 season thus far, and that's right up there with his career average. His career average is 23 disposals. He's exceeding that.
Yep.
He's sort of in 21, 22, 23, 24, there was a dip in disposals, but now that's just sort of hit a spike right up around the 25 disposal mark per game. And it's not just the disposals, Mick. It's what he's doing with it. He just finds targets and he's always looking to penetrate inside 50.
And that efficiency is, you don't see the communication because, the players have a second to react, but it's the mentality that each player has. Everyone is synced up with each other and immediately know what, like, for example, if Sidebottom's got the ball, they know where he's going to probably approximately going to kick it. And that kind of synergy is what helps the team kind of just like propel themselves forward to more than just a win, like complete dominance. And that's what we've been seeing these past 3 to 4 games, I want to say. Like, okay, maybe the Bulldogs one, that was a bit of a toss-up 50-50. But that game aside, it's been pure dominance. And, we've cemented ourselves at least as a top 2 side so far.
Yep. What do we say, Mick? After Carlton, so before the Carlton game, I was dubbing us a top 8 side. After Carlton, I said, okay, we're looking like a top 6 side. After Sydney, top 4. After this, top 2. But hold on. It's still very early in the year. What's important about the wins right now is we are stacking them up, allowing us a little bit more leeway to rest certain players if needed. But it's also, we've got to be mindful that peaking early isn't always the best thing. Look at Sydney last year. Look at Melbourne in 2022 after their premiership year. It's not the best thing. So I think we're in a sweet spot right now.
And we can't afford to be too comfortable in this position right now. Like, we banked off 5-1 now. Props to the team and everyone who's been on board, from the fans to the, those who've been supporting the team as well. The ones who are behind the scenes, from the coaches to even the water boys. But, I hope the players aren't, after that, going to settle on that afterwards. We still got Essendon, and then after Essendon, it doesn't get too easy still. We still got Geelong, especially Freo as well, and then North is going to be interesting because last year we only beat them by a point, so I want us to at least be a lot more comfortable than last year. Even though we do look like a different team this year, and it's been emphasized, aside from the picks that we've had and so far the games that we have played as well as they have, I want us to just continue and maintain that, as opposed to just like, okay, we're 5-1 now. That's all right so far, right? We need to go above and beyond. Like, we don't need to just stop there. Keep going.
Mick, did you know that Lockie Schultz and Dan Houston weren't playing tonight?
Yeah. I had knowing Craig McRae is a smart coach, I feel like he was testing 2024. This year, he kind of, I feel like now knows how to manage players. So now it seems like we don't have, we didn't get Lockie and Dan. I mean, Dan was understandable, the suspension. Lockie Schultz, we didn't rush him out. And it was going to be a hard game. Not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a hard game because Brisbane is no pushover team, especially with the hype they've had. Comeback Kings, you know, there was all that media talk about them and Ashcroft brothers, etc. But I said, if we want to make a statement and we go 5-1, we have to win by 40 plus points. Well, what did we do? We blew that out of the water, basically. You know, it was like shooting fish in a barrel, basically, with a shotgun. Yeah.
You know, actually, I tipped Collingwood and I had to pick a margin because it was the first game of the round. I tipped them by 50 points. So I'm doing these ones.
Close.
I'm doing these ones.
That's
Mick,
close, man. That might be even closer.
Go.
I was only going to say quickly, I only tipped Collingwood by 27 points. Not going to lie. That was me between being reasonable, but also me giving Collingwood a bit of a higher end score. But yours was the closest. I'll give you that.
Pussy.
Mick,
give us a rev up. Give us a rev up for Essendon. Give us a rev up. Come on,
Essendon.
30 seconds. Give us your biggest rev up.
All right. We're going to do 50 points. 50. No. 66 points. Let's go 66. 66. 66,
yes,
boy. Fuck them up. Let's go.
All right, Mick. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Take care, man.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. What we're going to do now is, guys, we're going to do the player ratings. So normally what I do is I've been pre-recording the player ratings. So if you stick around now, we're going to do the player ratings, and then I'm going to clip this up for people who watch this tomorrow. So stick around and you can see how we do this. And I will get input from you guys in the comment section. So maybe if you want to start putting in the chat who you want me to rate, and we can extend on the conversation with certain players and talk about their individual performances. But I'll start the video off by talking about the game. So I'll talk about the game, and then we'll lead into doing like 8 to 10 player ratings. So we'll be around for another 20 to 30 minutes. Chris, Manny was on earlier. So if you scroll back a little bit, you'll see the segment with Manny. He was unreal. He was on fire tonight. So player ratings, okay? So let me know, guys. Give me like 5 or 10 players you want to talk about. So I'm going to pretend that this is a pre-recorded video. I'm going to do an intro, and then we're going to get into it, okay? So hopefully this is a one take, and hopefully I don't look silly, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the player ratings. The Pies, eventual winners, winning by 52 points at the Gabba. I can only imagine how this game would have played out at the real G, the MCG. 16-9, 7-11 makes 105 to 53. What a comprehensive win. What a month of footy this has been for the club. In the post-game show, I said we've just got to enjoy this. You know, look at all the heartache and hardship we've had to endure as a club, as a fan base over the last 2 years, with all the close wins and then the fall from the heavens in 2024. How tough that was. But now we've bucked the trend. Too old, too slow. Well, too old, too slow is now presenting as one of the best defensive units the AFL has ever seen. And to travel well, experience carries a lot of weight. Teams can't go through our corridor. I didn't see a lot of grid work in the preseason when it came to defending the corridor. I think that's something that gets worked on in the video analysis. But what you can't measure is how important that experience in that side, the additions to the side that create added stability and cohesiveness in the communication across all lines of the field. Of course, the contest matters, the pressure, the clearance work, the pressure when the ball hits the deck, the tackles, that all matters. But you can't tell me adding Houston, Houston, Membry, and then you've got Pendles, who's another year wiser, Sidey, who's another year wiser. Darcy Moore spends another year as a captain. Nick Daicos is getting older. He is a footy intellect. He lives and breathes the game and understands it at his ripe age of 22. So all this tied in together and not giving into the media spin that's been dished out for the last 12 to 24 months about how we're all too old and too slow. It just goes to show, stick to your guns. There's many roads that lead to Rome. There's many ways to skin a cat, and Collingwood are showing that in 2025. And that's why just turn off all the bullshit journos, turn off all the bullshit AFL shows who want their hot takes. Just follow what you know and what you love, and that's the Collingwood Football Club, and follow them along in every single way. Manny on the post-game show said what he loves about the club beyond anything is how we just stick fat by players who have faced adversities in their young life. Jordan De Goey, Dane Swan, the Rat Pack, and then they pay us back in full. So that was a nice highlight from the post-game show. But let's get into the player ratings, guys. Let's get into the player ratings, okay? Who do we want to do first? Should we start with the 200-game milestone man, Jamie Elliott? You know what? He was present in most segments of the game. How many touches he had? He had 13 touches. He kicked 2 goals, and I think he had 3 behinds, but also 9 score involvements. So that's a very high clip. That is a 75% of Jamie Elliott's disposals led to score involvements. So you cannot underrate that, and you can't undervalue that. His pressure probably wasn't there as much as what it's normally been, but the game as a whole was kind of lacking pressure. I think that was mainly due to the way Brisbane played the game. They played keepings off, and unfortunately for them, they just couldn't break us down, which speaks to the leadership and organization in defending the corridor. They're a great kicking side. They're probably the best kicking side in the league, and they couldn't find a way through the middle. He got his 2 goals, celebrated well. That second goal was very nice. Was it the handball from who handballed it off? Bo McCreary. We got to do a ratings for him because he's been outstanding the last few weeks. What are we giving Billy Elliott? I think Billy Elliott with a goal assist. No, did he get a goal assist? No, he had 9 score involvements, 2 goals, 13 touches. 75% of his touches were in a scoring chain. I think you have to give Jamie Elliott. He had 5 shots on target. It could have easily been like a 9 out of 10. I think a 7.5 is fair for Jamie Elliott. I think that's a fair call. 7.5 for his standard, right? Let's go into Bo McCreary. Bo McCreary's stat line reads as the following, 11 touches, 6 inside 50s, 1 goal, 1 tackle, which again, we're not too concerned about, 8 score involvements, 2 goal assists. Probably 3-4 weeks ago and many times last year, we're asking for Bo, 10 touches a game, couple goals. Give us something a little bit more than the pressure you bring. And that's great. That's the linchpin of his game, his pressure. I understand that. Appreciate that. But can he take it to the next level? He's 24. He's going to be he's going to have a big say and imprint on our future, a part of the young core group. Last week, 2 goals, brilliant, looks inside 50, 8 score involvements out of his 11 touches. So even there, most of his touches were a part of scoring involvements. So that's a massive tick for a small forward or a pressure forward like Bo McCreary. I won't say small. He's kind of jacked and He's probably 6 foot, maybe even taller. He's not actually a small forward. He's a pressure forward, although he doesn't take many marks overhead, but that's not what he's there for. I'm really loving the way Bo is going about his game. What are we? I'm seeing 7.5s. I'm seeing 7s. I'm seeing 8. Bo McCreary, for his standard, I think we give Bo a 7.5 as well. Kev says, Bo's so good. Just hope he can have more shots on goal. Such a lethal. He's got such a big boot. You'd love to see that, don't you? We'll give Bo McCreary a 7.5, okay? Remember the player ratings, it's always relevant to their own standard. So obviously if Nick Daicos gets 11 touches and a goal and 8 score involvements, you're not giving him a 7.5. You're probably giving him like a 5 or a 4 compared to his own standard. So just bear that in mind. And Dennis, great point. Bo McCreary, maximum impact for the touches he had. Spot on. That is, in my eyes, that is a perfect Bo McCreary game. Who else do we want to do next? While you guys are thinking about who you might want to do next, let's talk about Ned Long. 21 touches, 7 contested possessions. I think that's the third, it's the fourth or tied fourth most for Collingwood tonight. 6 tackles in a game where there was only 61 tackles. 6 tackles of the 61 tackles that were applied in the game. What's that? 10%. So he attributed 10% of the tackle count to the game tonight. 5 score involvements, 5 clearances. Just keeps building on this unforeseen form or potential that he's showing to us in a big way right now. Maybe if I want to be hypercritical about him, maybe you guys would have seen there were some times where he kicked it long, where he definitely had some overlapping hand passes, but that's me being tough on the kid. Outside of that, he's Nick Daicos' bodyguard. You know what I mean? So as long as Nick has got his bouncer side by side, can't complain. I'm going to give Ned Long a 7.5 as well. A couple 8s in the chat. Most of you saying 7.5. Guys, once again, let me know who else you want to do. Let's go Darcy Cameron. We didn't talk about him last week in the player ratings. 14 touches, 7 contested possessions, 3 clearances, 4 score involvements, 1 goal assist. I just think DC, his ability to track back defensively and alleviate aerial pressure and assist Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe, and Billy Frampton, I think that's probably underrated. And we haven't spoken about that enough. We talked about his intercept marking game, but specifically what he's done for us in our back half and how he just makes us such a strong defensive unit. And that's why Western Australian clubs are going to come at him and they're going to offer him big money. I'm telling you, this is not a Brodie Grundy. This is a guy, a ruckman who can kick the ball, mark the ball, wins hitouts, beat TDK, beat Brodie Grundy last week. He is not the form ruckman of the league. He is the best ruckman in the league, period. While he wasn't unbelievable tonight, he didn't need to be. I'm going to give DC a 7 out of 10. I wanted to talk about him because of his form over the course of the year. Tonight specifically, not up to what he's done in the last few weeks, but it doesn't make it a bad game. It's just sometimes the way that the game plays out. Your impact is, it's just different sometimes. Let's go Darcy Moore. Kev wants to do Darcy Moore, so let's do Darcy Moore. DM30. Where are you, Darcy? My man, my captain. Just the 4 touches, yeah? Just the 4 touches. But when you look at how the game rolled, Brisbane didn't have many looks going inside 50. When they did go inside 50, to be fair to them, they were very efficient and was hard to defend when they made it into their forward half. Darcy Moore had a really nice intercept mark early in the game and then turned it over. Sort of gave me flashbacks of last year, but that's okay. But he's still able to spoil very well. I think that's his strong suit of his game. It used to be intercept marking, but the strong suit of Darcy Moore's game now is his ability to spoil and spoil clear of the contest and not allowing a soft drop for the Brisbane small forwards. We know how dangerous they can be once the ball hits the deck. 4 touches. It doesn't look good on the stat sheet, but I'm going to give Darcy Moore a 7 out of 10. I just, he passes the eye test right now. Yeah, I think that's fair. Maybe some could say 6.5. Some are saying 7.5. Some are saying 8. Some are saying 8.5. But I think a 7 is modest. Yeah, a 7 is modest. Can we talk about Jeremy Howe? 16 touches, 3 contested possessions, 7 marks, a bunch of intercept marks, 3 scorer involvements, which is a good return for a third key tall defender. Usually like a halfback flanker, elite is like 5 to 6 score involvements, but as a tall defender and isn't known as a rebound defender, I think he deserves his flowers as well. While he wasn't unbelievable tonight, he's been very consistent. And this goes back to the last 5 rounds of last year, and he's carried that in this rich vein of form into this year. We are going to miss Jeremy Howe when he retires more than most players on our list right now. Behind Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Jeremy Howe will miss the most. And you know what? You could make the case that you're going to miss Jeremy Howe more than Pendlebury and Sidebottom for reason X, Y, Z. And then vice versa, you're going to miss Pendlebury and Sidebottom more than Jeremy Howe because of reason X, Y, Z. I'm going to give Jeremy Howe a 7.5 out of 10. And he is so hard at it as well. Like he puts his body on the line when he's up in the air. He does that week in, week out. How many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go 2 more. Who do we want, guys? Quick in the chat. In the chat. Keep it rolling. Dan McStay deserves some acknowledgement. 8 touches, 2 contested marks, which was a team high, was it? Yes. 2 contested marks, team high, 3 goals. Was it 2 goals in the first quarter, and then was it another goal in the third quarter, or was that in the second quarter? 6 score involvements and a goal assist. So 6 of his 8 touches led or were a part of a scoring chain. And while Jamie Elliott was the narrative of the week because of the milestone and because of the great man that he is and what he's been able to persevere through, D-Mac had his own narrative. Missing the flag, watching his old side win the flag in the last year. And then this year, these are little wins in his career he'll look back on fondly. Going back to the Gabba, overcoming an ACL, kicking 3 goals to guide your side, to drive your side early when in the first half, maybe you could say we weren't really in control, so to speak. He applied scoreboard pressure. That's all you can ask for. I'm going to give McStay, because he was critical in moments that mattered early in the game, 8 out of 10. He was our best tall, in my opinion. And he battled well with Harris Andrews at times. Who else can we talk about? I mean, we can talk about Nick Daicos, but 38 touches, 10 contested possession, 12 score involvements. Had more tags on him than a designer bag, and they still couldn't stick it. 2 goal assists. Yeah. What more can I say? I'm just going to give Nick Daicos out of 10. Yeah. How about we'll give Nick Daicos an SB 10 out of 10. Pretty simple. There's a lot of Lipinski love in the chat. He's been great. You know what? Jack Crisp has been good as well. Jack Crisp has been great. Is there anyone else? Let's go with Josh Daicos. 30 touches. So between Josh and Nick, 68 disposals. During the week, the narrative in the media, mainstream media, was comparing the Ashcrofts against the Daicoses. So Josh and Nick have 68 touches between each other. Levi and Will. So Levi had 19. Will had 13. That's 32 touches, isn't it? 32 to 68. And some journalists were saying they'd take the Ashcrofts over the Daicoses, the Daicai. Geez, didn't we show them tonight? Didn't we show them these fraud comeback kings? Didn't see no sign of a comeback at all tonight. So Josh Daicos, probably his best game. He just found the ball with these 6 score involvements as a halfback flanker. As I said earlier in this video, 6 as a halfback flanker is cream of the crop. It's Dane Zorko, it's Dan Houston, it's Kiddine Coleman when he's available. It's Max Holmes when he plays off the halfback flank for Geelong. It's Lockie Whitfield. He's amongst that caliber. 3 inside 50s. Kicked the goal as well from 50. Hey, they gave him a 50-meter penalty, but he still kicked it from 50. He didn't need the freebie. So I think Josh Daicos, we give him a 9 out of 10. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So that is the player ratings. Another win. Enjoy it. Enjoy the Easter. Another big clash. Another game against the side who has their biggest game, home and away game in their fixture against Essendon Anzac Day. So we shall see you all there. And thanks for watching. If you made it this far, guys, be sure to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, if you've stuck around this long and you enjoy it, subscribe, leave a like. And until next time, go Pies.